News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. All right, we have a problem. We really have a problem. What is that problem? Trump is not winning. And the press conference he had today was nasty at times. And it cannot be. It cannot be, or we will lose. And right now we are losing. You know, yesterday I told you that we were winning, and that I thought that we were going to win because Kamala's so radical, and the guy she put on the ticket with her is so radical. And it's very true. But what's happening is what David Axelrod, former Obama campaign manager, said today on Fake News CNN, and it's also what the Politico reported earlier today, and that is she is winning right now, and you don't break something that's not broken. You don't fix something that's not broken, and they're winning by hiding her, and they're not going to bring her out any more than they have to if they're winning. Why would you do that? Trump came out today to try to flush her out, which I thought was good, but then he was nasty. He called her the first loser instead of the first lady. He said some other things that were like in that whole vein, and you can't do that if you want to win. My buddy Eric Erickson in his column today, over 50% of Americans say they do not like Trump. His stage appearances of late have done nothing but remind the people they do not like him. That happened today. Over 50% of Americans prefer his handling of the issues to the Biden-Harris administration. He needs to do that, provide a vision, etc. The last day of Trump's full day in office, Wisconsin gas was $2.09. Today it's $3.48. January 19th, the price of a gallon of gas in Erie, Pennsylvania was $2.76. Today it's $3.74. That is not being brought up. This is real. People are grieved. They've been railroaded and screwed for almost 4 years now, and he is sitting there insulting people, and we want to win. We want to win. He needs to focus. Watch this. My buddy gave a great, Eric gave a great thing today. He said Trump should be going into the local media, not J.D. Vance. Trump should be going to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, and there's a cluster of medium, small metro in central North Wisconsin. I can't remember what it was. I used to live there. I'm not in that area, but there's like 4 metro areas that he needs to hit those, and he's not. He needs to go in there and do interviews with those anchors and reporters. You hear me? And get it on local news, because the national news will not do it. That'll make huge headlines. The local people are trusted, and they'll be much more fair. He should be doing that in all the swing states. I agree. Here is Trump today, and some of this was nasty, some of it is good, but the nastiness totally destroys what's good, because the nastiness is all that gets played in the news.
She's not doing any news conference. You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how to do a news conference. The reason she's not doing what I do, and she's not doing what she should be doing, she won't even do interviews with friendly people. Because she can't do better than Biden. She should be doing interviews. She doesn't want to do interviews. And the reason she doesn't is, number one, her policies are so bad. Just to answer your question, I think that it's not going to change, because it's really ultimately not about her as much as about her policies.
It's not breaking through, and it does seem a little bit rushed, and it does seem a little bit panicked. And he does seem panicked and scrambled. He does. I hate to say that. And reactatory. He is not responding. He is reacting. He is not leading. He's still flustered. He and his campaign. This is a bad place to be. This has been masterfully rolled out, even though it's rigged and all that stuff by the Democrats. It does not matter. What matters is what we've been handed. And right now, a lot of us are getting super PO'd. I speak for myself. I speak for my buddy Eric, who's got a syndicated show. He's hearing from ladies in their 30s and even their 80s that are mad. Get your vision out there. Don't attack people. Don't make it nasty. This is so easy. You're destroying yourself. This is what I've always said about Trump. I love him, but this guy is his own worst enemy. He will destroy his own campaign, and we cannot afford this. And many people are getting mad at him. I was mad at him talking the other night. We cannot afford this. Here's my questions for you if you caught the press conference. How do you think Trump's press conference went today? How well do you think his campaign is running right now? I think it's a disaster, unfortunately, for where it could be. And what do you think Trump's chances are of winning right now versus Kamala? And what does he need to do for the next few months to win this race? You got 2-3 months and it's over. You understand me? Pennsylvania, I think it is, starts to vote in 30 days. This is a freaking disaster. You don't flush somebody out by going out there and calling their names. You call her stupid, too. Phone line's wide open. Chime in right now. I want to hear from you right now. This segment, 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. We got 4 minutes. Get on the phone. How do you think Trump's press conference went today? How well do you think his campaign's running right now? What do you think Trump's chances are of winning versus Kamala right now? Yesterday, I told you I thought they were pretty good. I thought they were good. I thought we'd win by a good margin because she's radical. The guy she picked is radical. But the thing is, all she's doing in all of her speeches is reading the same script. Every speech she does across the country is the same script. She's not veering off. She's reading a teleprompter because when she goes spontaneous, she talks herself in a circle and sounds like a fool, like an idiot. That's when she only had 20 seconds on the tarmac to talk about the hostages being released from Russia on the tarmac, and she said the same thing twice backwards in a circle like an idiot. And that's why she can't go off. We have a woman who is so easy and so freaking radical. This woman is insanely radical. Every hour we learn more. I have a news story. The people of California are disgusted. She was the top cop when she put in Proposition 47, which made all these serious felonies lower crimes, made cash bail. This is what all the thuggery in San Francisco and Los Angeles have begotten. And this woman also, it was the very liberal Dianne Feinstein railed against her when she was the DA of San Francisco, and she let a cop killer. She did not charge the cop killer with a death penalty. She believes in no death penalty for anybody. A cop killer. Dianne Feinstein, the most liberal of liberals from California at the time. I think she passed away by now, I think. But she literally, I have a piece of audio of her beating the crap out of Kamala, a super liberal from California beating the crap out of her. She was disgusted and appalled that this cop killer that shot and killed a police officer, a young man with an AK-47. She is responsible for reigning as the state's top cop, terror and violence and crime on the people. And nobody wants this, but nobody's hearing about it because the mainstream media is doing her campaign for her. She's hiding and she's reading the same script at every single appearance she does. She did talk today. I've got some audio of her talking today. I think this was on a plane. She went back and forth on her debate. Trump agreed to 3 debates today. You'll hear more audio from his presser today in Mar-a-Lago in a sec. But he did agree to 3 debates. She's only agreeing to 1. She's apparently open to doing a second one. He's pushing for 3 all next month, which it should be because the early voting starts right after. Here's Kamala, cackling Kamala on the plane, it sounded like to me. I didn't see it. I listened.
President Trump had a press conference today. He talked about a lot of things. What if you have a reaction to what he talked about?
Well, I'm glad that he finally agreed to a debate on September 10th. I'm looking forward to it, and
are you open to more debate?
I'm happy to have that conversation about an additional debate for after September 10th, for sure. He proposed more debate. Like I said, happy to have that conversation.
Why do you think he pulled out of the debate?
I am beyond trying to speculate about how he thinks.
What else? Can you comment on some of his other criticisms? He made a whole litany of them today. Some of them are about your...
I was too busy talking to voters. I didn't hear him.
Some of the criticism has been about your vice presidential pick and his leading the National Guard at 24 years.
I'll pause it there. We got more on that, more from Trump coming up next. May I pop on a call real fast? All right, let's go to Mary in Plano. Mary, you are on WBAP. Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
So here's what I think. I think Trump has this election in the bag, and I really, truly, honestly believe it. But here's the thing. I've watched a lot of social media. I've watched a lot of his press conferences, his interviews, everything. We're giving him the chance to sit here and explain what it is that we need to do. He's going back to the same thing he did.
Yes.
The same thing he did back in 2020.
Right.
And the thing is if he just calmed down, took a step back,
yes,
and remembered, hey, we want to save this country from all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So if he would just take a step back and just answer the questions and just not do the name calling, not do all the stuff he's been doing, if he would just actually follow through and break down the policies that matter to Americans, that we know he can do. We know that he's capable of doing it. He's proved it. But he's got to stay calm, and he's got to break down exactly what the threat is.
That's exactly right. Instead of calling her crazy and this and that, he called Gavin Newsom today. He called Nancy Pelosi crazy. Nancy, dude, you can do that all you want after you get elected. I love listening to you go after these folks, but not now. This is how we lose. Look at the Real Clear Politics average of all the polls right now. Kamala's up by 5 over Trump. 5-way RCP average. Kamala's up 0.8 over Trump. Top battlegrounds. Trump's up only 1.4. Favorability ratings. Harris up 2.3. Real Clear betting RCP betting odds. Harris 50 over Trump 48. Wisconsin, Harris up by 0.5. Pennsylvania, Trump up 1.2. Michigan, she's now up by 2.0. Arizona, he's up by 2.8. Nevada up by 4. Trump up by 3 in North Carolina. In Georgia, he's only up by 0.6. Last go. You go.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry. I got really excited.
No, go.
Here's the thing.
Go.
He's got it. He's got this. He's just got to stay calm and remember. He's got to remember the goal. Okay. He's got to focus on the goal and keep his mind clear and not freak out about all this other stuff. He's got to put the name bashing aside, and he's just got to stay focused and got to break down what matters to the people.
Right.
And once he does that, she doesn't have a chance.
That's right. But right now he's undisciplined. He's off the handle. He's panicked, and the campaign sucks right now.
I know. I know he can do it. He's got to stop, and when someone asks him a question, he's got to answer it.
Yes, and no insults and no nastiness.
Yeah.
That's how you lose.
Yeah.
He had it that night of the convention, and after the assassination attempt, he's lost it. You want to gain it back, or you will lose this for us. This is not about him. It's about us. He says his campaign, and they're trying to jail him for us. Sure, I don't disagree with that, but you are losing this for us right now. Mary, great call from Plano. We have 4 lines open right now. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Lines wide open on that for you. 4 lines open, I should say. How do you think Trump's press conference went today? How well did his campaign? How well is it running right now? What do you think Trump's chances of winning right now versus Kamala are? And what does he need to do for the next few months to win this race? Next, you're going to hear more audio from Trump today and the rest of Kamala's Q&A, actually talking to the press for once in 18 days now. Unbelievable.
Some of the criticism has been about your vice presidential pick and his leading the National Guard at 24 years. Vance said that he deserted his own troops for his own colleagues. What's your take on that?
Listen, I praise anyone who has presented themselves to serve our country. And I think that we all should.
Madam Vice President, there's been a lot of questions about when you're going to sit down for your first interview since being the nominee. If you have any
I've
on that.
talked to my team. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month. Thank you.
I think it's very important to have debates, and we've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC, fairly full agreement, subject to them, on September 10th. And we've agreed with ABC on September 25th. I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight.
All right, a couple questions on this. How do you think Trump's press conference went today? I think he did not help himself overall. I think he had some good points, but he didn't stick to it. He was not disciplined. He insulted. And dang it, we want to win. He's going to lose the more he does this. This is great. He looks like he's melting down. Campaign looks like they're scrambling. This is not good. We have no margin of error. We have no time to waste. And how well do you think his campaign is running right now? I think they're floundering. What do you think Trump's chances are of winning right now versus Kamala? If he keeps this up, he ain't going to win. He has got to be disciplined. He is not. What does he need to do for the next few months to win this race? One of the best pieces of advice that I have heard, and by the way, I agree, no more name calling, only policies. When they try to goad you and talk about her race, just don't respond, swim around it, and just swim right past it and say, I want to talk about the policies. I want to talk about the fact that doot, boom, 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 boom. Just keep doing that. He attacked George. He went to Atlanta the other day for, I was doing my lawn listening to it, and it was great until he attacked the freaking most popular governor in Georgia in a long time, Governor Kemp. He doesn't have to like him, but he attacked him and his wife. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Today he said, he repeated it again, well, I got him elected. I got him elected. But yeah, it would be good to be able to mend things over. Well, then what were you doing attacking him on Sunday? Dude, you're killing yourself and you're killing us. He also should be going to the local media outlets. My buddy Eric Erickson made the comment today. I'm like, that's brilliant. He can do it from remote too, like the new satellite, where you let the anchor of the biggest anchor of WTMJ Milwaukee is probably the big one there. They're a powerhouse for TV and radio. He should do one for Madison. WISN television there. I was on there a lot when I was in Madison. He should also do one up in Eau Claire, and there's also one up in another metropolitan area. And then he should be doing the same thing in Pennsylvania, all the swing states. He should be doing it, and they'll be getting fair interviews that will be on the news. Brendan McKinney, you are on WBAP. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I absolutely agree with you 100% what you've brought forward tonight. It's so sad to me. We're such huge Trump supporters in my entire family, but just to see the self-destruct, Trump absolutely, he could win this without ever mentioning her name or Tim Walz's name.
Right.
I mean, he's so strong with policy.
Right.
But the just like today, he starts off good, and then I think he loses so many people.
Yes.
He just, and we've all heard that it's like a recording.
Yes.
The same thing. But I just have a horrible feeling in my stomach because I truly believe she's already under his skin.
Yes, she is.
Absolutely.
And for a woman who is not, her policies are horrific, she's not a good politician, is a disaster. And if he loses to her, then he can't win. He can't win. Appreciate your call. Yeah, Brenda, great call. Thank you. James in Bedford, you're on WBAP. Quickly.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much. 2 points. First of all, insulting his way to the White House said it couldn't be done. He did it in 2016, and in 2020, he got way more votes just being Trump the second time around. And then as far as the polls are concerned, Trump always outperforms the polls. Always. They always get Trump wrong in the polls.
Here's the thing. He needs a sliver. I'm going to share it with Carl Rove what he wrote today, and what others have said. There's a tiny sliver of people that he needs to get, and this is not how you get those people. He'll always get his 47, 48%, but that'll never win it for him. Quickly, 10 seconds, go.
All right, but once the debates come on, Kamala and her policies will be exposed, and none of this is going to matter.
I hope you're right. Not if he's insulting her and insulting Joe. I'm just name calling. All right, we continue with this discussion next at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Also coming up at 8:33 is Trump could blow this election. And there's 2 columns in the Journal that talk about that today, and we'll talk about what you think the chances are that he will actually blow this election next.
Police called Prop 47 a get-out-of-jail-free card. Retailers and local DAs predicted a rise in crime. But the state's top cop, Attorney General Kamala Harris, said at the time, nothing.
She's hiding out, not doing her job, not educating the public.
Harris claimed as AG it was her duty to stay neutral. Others disagreed. Top newspapers said Harris failed to inform voters, calling her gutless and disappointing.
Prop 47 was a lie from day one.
10 years later, some voters want to undo Prop 47, still blaming Harris for mislabeling it the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act.
Its deliberately misleading title, which promised safe neighborhoods and schools, was intentionally designed to trick voters.
Throughout her career, Harris governed as a progressive.
I think San Francisco wants a progressive district attorney.
As DA, she promised to never seek the death penalty, which outraged critics and allies alike when a man murdered police officer Isaac Espinoza.
I think this district attorney made a very big mistake. As a matter of fact, if I had known she had said that in her campaign, I never would have supported her.
That's Dianne Feinstein, a liberal San Francisco area. I believe she's in the San Francisco area. I think she's passed away now, but very liberal, longtime Democrat, powerful Democrat. So this is real. This woman's a disaster. Her policies are a disaster, and we cannot win. Trump today, this press conference, last piece of audio from his press conference I wanted to play for you.
She's a radical left person at a level that nobody's seen. She picked a radical left man, everything she's touched has turned to bad things. I'm not going to use foul language. These guys get up. Think of it. We're going to give you no security. We're going to give you a weak military. We're going to give you no walls, no borders, no anything. Now that people are finding out that she destroyed San Francisco, she destroyed the state of California along with Governor Gavin Newsom. I'm a person of common sense. I want to have low taxes. I want to have strong borders. I want to have a strong military.
So there's something that's good there, but he says Gavin Newsom. What does an independent person think about that? Now Karl Rove in his column today in the Wall Street Journal talks about enthusiasm gap. We used to have the enthusiasm gap way higher than Biden. Now it's flipped. She has 6 points more in Democrats' enthusiasm than Republicans' enthusiasm about Trump. It's all about a smaller percentage than you think, Rove says. It's going to come down to, he quotes a guy, a pollster and a former colleague of Rove's at UT Austin. He said the voters for up for grabs are consisting of three groups: true independents who don't lean either toward either party, non-MAGA Republicans, and less motivated low-interest voters. He's also a Fox News poll director. He says voters are within these three groups who remain undecided or weakly linked to their current choice make up as little as 1.8 of the electorate. He believes it's as high as 5%. So between 1.8 to 5%, that's all you got. And none of them are going to be attracted like sweet honey or whatever if you are calling them new scum and calling her a loser and stupid. He really would have been better off not doing the conference today if he couldn't control himself. He really would have. I'm sorry to say. 90 days are left, writes the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal today in a separate column. He is teed up for a Republican vote. With working class are unhappy with the economy. Real wage incomes have declined. Even no matter how many raises you've got, you're still losing money because of Joe Bidenomics, by inflation. I got audio of Kamala saying 5 times over the past year, Bidenomics is working. Bidenomics is working. The chaos is at the border. That's her and Joe's responsibility. And they go on. They talk about the wars. The earth is not the earth, but the world is on fire under Joe Biden. Wars raging in Europe, the Middle East. China's menacing Western Pacific, and voters are unhappy and looking for a change. Now she comes trying to steal the change mantle. They say she'll succeed if Republicans cannot wrap her in Biden's record and her progressive San Francisco views. She's a legitimate San Francisco progressive. She is a legitimate far left San Francisco progressive. Can you imagine if Trump can't beat this? This is incredible. The problem's the candidate, they say. And they talk about, he has that ceiling of support that's below 50%, like many Americans, and many Americans dislike him. Now that he's in the news every day, he's reminding the voters of why they don't like him. I'm going to pause right there and continue with some powerful more observations from the Journal and their editorial board column today on this. But first, I want to go to Betty in Dallas. By the way, the question, I got one simple question on this one. What do you think the chances are that Trump blows this election? Right now, I'd have to say it's 50-50. Right now, it's 60-40. He's going to blow up, but I think he can change it, and I think he's going to realize that real soon. Real soon. Press conferences going nuts and being insulting are going to lose this election for him. And this is for us, man. It angers me because this is for us. This is our country, too. And he has to do it for us. And if he can't do this and discipline himself, then it's really angering because it's so simple and within his reach. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. 4 lines open. What do you think the chances are that Trump blows this election? Betty in Dallas. Hello. What do you got, WBAP?
Hi, Chris. Yes. I don't know about percentages, but I think he's got a really good chance of blowing it himself. Like you said, it's all about what people hear, and the media will only post or show the bad stuff, whatever he says about Kamala. Mm-hmm. She comes across as a really nice person that everybody likes, and people look at those the persona that people put across. A lot of people don't have time or don't care about policy, right. And a lot of people that I know think we need a woman president. But, we can talk all day about what he does right and wrong. Who's going to tell him? We need somebody that can talk to Trump and say, this is what you need to do. You have a lot of people that want you to change what you're doing. And the other thing is she never talks about foreign policy. Even when she talks to her campaign staff, I've seen her give a couple of speeches, and she talks about about abortion a lot, women's rights, whatever that is, but she never ever mentions Israel or.
Well, she does. She chastises them and chides them, and she spews Hamas propaganda. She said, "I'm hearing that children are eating grass and cattle feed," which is a lie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard that, but you did mention that.
Yeah, it was in the Journal the other day. It's just filthy, vile, disgusting what she's saying. But the thing is, it's never gonna be in the debate. It's not going to be out there if he's constantly saying nasty stuff and turning people off. And that's just what all there is.
Well, the way Trump did in the last debate, it wasn't perfect. He's actually a terrible debater. I would hate to see him come up against a Ronald Reagan or a JFK, but that's beside the point because he can certainly beat her in a debate. What he did, he would go off topic, and that's when he could ask a really pointed question. What would Kamala do about this, that, and the other? And I think he can get her if he would just, like you said, just rein himself in, stop doing the personal attacks completely. Don't call her stupid. Don't even say whether she's black.
Let her
act
stupid, and let the people see that she's stupid. Don't call her
stupid.
There
you go. Exactly.
Yeah, and he can do that in debate with her. Tulsi Gabbard literally destroyed her.
Do you remember when she debated Pence for the vice presidential debate?
I don't, and that's the other thing. He went with Vance because he was too cocky. The Journal mentions that, and I agree. I said he shouldn't have gone with Vance. He was too cocky. He thought he can have another Trump on the ticket, and he should have gotten somebody like a Pence, who many people might not like that, but that shows he's going to be moderate.
I disagree with that. He's nothing like Pence, I think. But when she debated with Pence, and Pence he was very calm. She looked terrible in that debate.
That's what I'm saying. So Trump could destroy her, and she's already agreed to one, and he's agreed to one, and he's asking for two more. I think she's at least the way she talked in the response today that I played a little earlier. I'm going to play another one coming up next. I'll play another one coming up next in about 4 minutes at 8:47 because she literally is saying she won't commit to the second or third. But it sounds like she's open to the second. She ain't going to want to do more than two. She's bad at debating. And guess what else?
Trump of dropping out of a debate, which was supposed to be with Biden.
He just proposed 3 today. So
she says a lot of things that are, and if you tell a lie often enough, people will.
Yes, and the media will chirp it.
Are you going to be the one to call Trump and tell him what we've said? This is what you need to do.
I would love to.
Somebody needs to tell him.
I would love to. I appreciate your call. I'll be on the phone right away. Straight away. I'll call him on the air in a moment. I want to hear from you. What do you think the chances are that Trump will blow this election? Because of his own actions. His policies are amazing. His leadership is amazing. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. In 3 minutes at 8:47, I'm going to be playing Kamala that actually talked about, confronted with a reporter about the debate. Will you take his 3 debate challenges or not? And I've also got CNN, Tim Walz with his Stolen Valor, her candidate, and then CNN literally said it was not true. You'll hear him back to back next as well in 4 minutes, 3 minutes on the Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
As U.S. Senator Harris said, defunding police allowed cities to spend more on services.
To believe that by putting more police on the street, you're going to have more safety. And that's just wrong.
She supports sanctuary laws shielding criminal aliens from deportation and decriminalizing illegal immigration.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented across the border as criminals.
So as AG, Harris was supposed to tell voters accurately what Prop 47 meant for public safety. She failed to mention that it stopped DNA collection from some felons, crippled the ability to solve crimes, predicted the spike in theft, and the cost to consumers.
Ouch. So much. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. But the problem is Trump is too busy hurting himself, getting in his own way. I do think it would have been better off not doing that press conference today. I think it was hurried, panicked, and just trying to get himself back in the news. If he was going to do it right, he could have done it without the insults and been focused and given his vision for this country and said what he would do to bring us back on track and remind everybody what it was like his last day and what it will be like in his first day. But there was too much getting clouded in with the insults and the nastiness, and that's how you lose. That's where my question comes in. What do you think the chances are that Trump blows this election? What do you think the chances are that Trump will blow this election? 800-288-WBAP. I'm sorry to even be asking this, but it's true. It's a must ask today. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. And then there's Kamala's vice presidential pick. They literally scrubbed his title from the military today off of her website without any comments about a stolen valor, and here he is literally lying that he was in combat, and then CNN in their analysis of this saying he never was in combat.
I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
There is a difference between being in a combat area, being involved at a time of war, and actually being in a position where people are shooting at you. There is no evidence that at any time Governor Walz was in a position of being shot at, and some of his language could easily be seen to suggest that he was. So that is absolutely false when he said that about gun rights out there.
Whoops. And then here is Tim Walz in a 2006 veterans event running for Congress, calling himself a retired command sergeant major. He never retired with that rank. He never reached that rank because he left the military and ditched before he would get that rank. He didn't take any tests. He just bailed so quickly. Second of all, we have a column that I read today. A mother whose son died in Iraq. He was young. He was like 18 or 19 or something. And she's like, my son died and Tim Walz didn't go. I mean, this is coming out from every direction. Here he is in 2006 launching his congressional campaign, lying that he's a command sergeant major.
I'm Tim Walz, and I'm running for Congress in Minnesota's 1st Congressional District. I'm a retired command sergeant major. I spent 24 years in the Army National Guard. I spent the better part of 2 decades as a public school teacher. I'm a small business owner, I'm a father, and I'm a husband. I intend to come here to Washington to provide authentic leadership.
Okay, brother. The Minnesota National Guard reporting yesterday that, in fact, he never reached that rank. And that is false. So he's lying. Also, this from CBS, they just published a fact check today on Instagram about Walz's stolen valor. They cited Harris Walz campaign spokesperson who claimed Walz chaired the Veterans Affairs in Congress, except he never was the Veterans Affairs Committee chair, and it was confirmed by CBS in a fact check of what J.D. Vance said about that. J.D. Vance fought, and he was in combat as a Marine, and they're trying to say, well, he was just a journalist from the Marine. Yeah, well, journalists are in the middle of the combat too, and if they get shot at, they can shoot back, and they have guns on them. They don't just walk around with a notepad with like they're the Red Cross or something like that. So he was in combat, and this guy lied and said he was in combat and war, lied about his rank. This is freaking stolen valor, and you don't need me to tell you that. The people that serve will tell you. It's Shari in Dallas. You are on WBAP. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Your question about Trump, I was very disappointed when he ran the second term, and I kept telling my husband he's going to lose it because he just cannot rein it in. I mean, when he showed up without mask, his family in the Cleveland Medical Center, I was so disappointed, and he kept disappointing me over and over again with those type of things. And I think he's starting to do it again. I've been really proud of him the last few months with his rhetoric, but it's starting to get bad again.
So in other words, you're voting for him, but you're seeing him shoot himself in the foot again.
Yeah, I did both times, and I will again. But I'm just I'm very disappointed that I feel like who's talking to him? They need to just tell him you got to stop.
Here's another example from the Wall Street Journal today in their editorial board. Miss Harris in particular seems to have unnerved him. He scrambles but fails to find an attack line that works. He said she, quote, doesn't like Jewish people, even though her husband's Jewish. He attacked her racial identity, which alienates swing voters. He calls her low IQ and dumb, as if the schoolyard insult would persuade anybody. He attacked Governor Brian Kemp and his wife when he went to Georgia as a rally last weekend in Atlanta, and needs the help of Kemp's Get Out the Vote organization in Georgia. And it's just like, dude, stop it. I would go call him and say, I'm sorry. I apologize. I want to work with you. I want to win. Help me. That's what I would do. Appreciate you, Shari. Appreciate you very much. Love that name, by the way. I know somebody whose name is Shari also here in the Metroplex. Wonderful woman. You made me think of her. One of my former colleagues. Okay. Coming up next on the Chris Crock Show at 9:04. The Democrats are going after groceries and fast food and blaming the fast food and grocery companies for inflation and price gouging. What a freaking lie from the pits of hell, isn't that? I'll give you their profit margins and why they're wrong, and we'll talk about who you blame for out-of-control prices at the grocery store, gas station, and restaurants. Coming up next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. And make it a preset.